Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into something I think is incredibly relevant right now. Personalized support for mental well-being.
Definitely a hot topic.
Yeah, and we're focusing on a specific service called VOIA. We've got some source materials, some excerpts that describe what it does and how it works. So our mission, you could say, for this deep dive is to really get under the hood of VOIA. How does it actually aim to give that immediate, super personalized emotional support?
Right. What makes it tick?
Exactly. We want to look at its features, think about the potential impact, on our day-to-day mental state and what it maybe signals about where self-care is headed.
It's an interesting space.
Totally. I mean, just imagine for a second having the perfect words just for you show up in seconds when you really, really need them.
That's a powerful promise.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So, starting at the top, VOIA is positioned as like your own personal oasis of calm. The sources say its main goal is to be a place for relief, a place to support your mental health, or even just somewhere you can, pause, relax, take a moment.
A digital refuge, almost.
Yeah, and they have this greeting, "Welcome to VOIA, a place where your change begins." Which sounds pretty profound, right?
It does. It sets a high bar straight away. Not just support, but change.
Oh, it's not just a calming background noise app.
No, it seems more active. And that leads into this idea of a VOIA moment.
Ah, yes. Tell us about that.
Well, the source defines it as a safe space where you just write how you feel, and within seconds you receive words that soothe, support, and help you return to yourself.
Within seconds. That immediacy is key, isn't it?
It really seems to be. It's tackling that need we all sometimes have for non-judgmental support right now without, the usual wait times or barriers you might find elsewhere.
And the benefits listed are super direct. Support, relief, calm, inspiration. And then, crucially, exactly for you.
That last part, exactly for you, feels like the core differentiator they're aiming for, not just generic stuff.
Yeah, it's that feeling of being truly seen, even by an app, I suppose.
And connecting this to, well, the bigger picture, the sources explicitly state, mental health is just as important as physical health.
A message we hear more and more, thankfully.
Absolutely. And VOIA seems to frame itself in two ways here, as first aid for those really tough moments.
Like emotional first aid.
Kind of, yeah. But also as a long-term guide on the path to greater lightness, calm, and inner strength. So it's both immediate response and ongoing support.
Okay, so not just a quick fix.
That's the idea. And what's really interesting, I think, is how it aims to fill that gap for immediate emotional support. Contrasting with maybe traditional therapy where there's often a wait.
Right, appointments, schedules.
Yeah.
This is instant.
Exactly. An accessible instant resource is how it seems positioned.
Okay, but this promise of instant tailored support, that's the tricky part, isn't it? How does it actually achieve that deep personalization, going beyond just, standard affirmations?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question with these kinds of tools.
Here's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Well, the source material gives us a hint in a tip for you section. It says users can literally adjust the app according to themselves.
Adjust the app.
How so?
By setting the voice, style, and tone of responses in the settings. So you get to shape how it talks back to you, essentially.
Ah, okay. So you can choose if you want something more gentle or maybe more direct or a certain kind of voice.
Precisely. That level of user control is quite smart, I think. It kind of sidesteps potential roadblocks, like maybe being put off by a tone that doesn't resonate or feeling judged.
Right. If the response feels like you customized it, maybe it lands better.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
It could lower that barrier to actually reaching out, offering a different kind of psychological safety, even if it's AI generated. It's about building trust through that personalized interaction. And a huge part of that trust, or at least usability, must be accessibility. The sources emphasize anytime, day or night, in every situation, hope awaits you here.
That 2047 availability is crucial for mental well-being tools, isn't it? Because problems don't stick to office hours.
Not at all. And who is this actually for?
The source says, for everyone from 13 years old.
Wow, okay, so quite a wide range, including teenagers.
Yeah, which makes sense. They're digital natives, often comfortable using tech for support. It suggests VOIA aims to address a really broad spectrum of needs, from adolescent worries to adult life stress.
Okay, so let's get practical. If someone downloads this, how do they actually use it? What are the steps? The sources lay it out pretty clearly.
Right, it seems like a simple process.
4 steps. First, you choose what is closer to you, woman or man.
Okay, interesting first step. Is that about the voice?
not just the voice, apparently. The source says this sets the initial tone and style of the response so that it is most pleasant for you. Kind of like choosing a basic persona for the interaction.
I see, a foundational filter.
Yeah. Then, step 2, choose what you currently need. You get 2 options, gentle affirmations or your personal VOIA moment.
So a quick boost versus a deeper dive.
Exactly. That second option is described as a response precisely for your current situation. So you decide the depth right there.
Giving the user control again.
Right. Step 3 is about the voice itself. Choose the voice that appeals to you, female or male. And it mentions you can read or listen.
Good to have both options. Some prefer reading, some listening. Adds accessibility.
Definitely. And finally, step 4, the core of it. Write what you need help with.
Okay, user input stage.
Yeah. And they give some guidelines. Use diacritics and at least 4 words. A simple sentence is fine. Max length is 250 characters.
Diacritics, those little accents and marks on letters, that suggests it's handling language quite carefully. And 250 characters isn't huge, so forces you to be concise.
Like, just straight to the point, yeah. A simple sentence is enough.
And if we think about what's happening behind the scenes, these steps are feeding the AI, right? It's taking your choices, the tone, style, voice, and your written input.
And trying to understand the emotion.
Exactly. Using, natural language processing to figure out your emotional state from that short text. Then it generates a response that fits the persona you chose and addresses what you wrote.
So it's more than just keyword matching.
Hopefully, yes. It's aiming for a more nuanced understanding. And letting the user control the output style, that's a really thoughtful touch for digital well-being. It accepts that one size doesn't fit all. You get to shape it.
Okay, so it lets you define the interaction style. But what kind of problems or feelings can it actually help with? Is it just for general stress, or does it go deeper?
It seems to aim for a pretty wide range. The sources say it always offers words of understanding, support, and inspiration, regardless of the issue.
And they have these preset options too, right? Like starter prompts.
Yes, which can be helpful if you're struggling to articulate things. They list things like fear, sadness, anxiety, anger.
So the big common emotions.
Right. And even things like gratitude, motivation, joy, and relax. They give examples too, like for fear, I'm scared and don't know what will happen next.
Or for sadness, I'm sad and everything weighs me down.
It seems like they're trying to cover a lot of the emotional spectrum, giving you an easy starting point.
Makes sense.
And beyond those presets, the sources list quite diverse examples of questions and situations it can handle.
Such as?
Well, practical stuff like how to relax, or a common one, how to fall asleep when thoughts race through my head.
Oh yeah, definitely needed sometimes.
But also deeper things like how to overcome feelings of hopelessness, or what to do when I feel completely alone.
Wow, okay. So it's not shying away from serious feelings.
Doesn't seem like it. It shows the ambition here to be useful for both everyday frustrations and, well, more profound struggles.
Some of the examples listed are really striking, reflecting very modern concerns too. Things like, what to do when climate crisis scares me.
That one really stands out, doesn't it?
It does. Or even, what to do when I have really dark thoughts. It makes you stop and think about the scope.
It absolutely does. And that pause is important. It suggests VOIA is trying to meet people where they are, even in those incredibly difficult spaces. But then you see an example like, how do I know if I have ADHD?
Right. That feels different. That sounds like asking for a diagnosis.
Exactly. And this is where we need to be really clear about boundaries. An AI like this, based on the description, seems positioned to offer support, information, maybe coping strategies related to the feelings associated with something like ADHD.
But not to diagnose it.
Absolutely not. It's not a medical professional. The AI's role seems to be about understanding and supporting the emotional experience, maybe helping with self-awareness or coping mechanisms, but definitely not clinical assessment. That's a critical distinction.
Very important point. And one more thing that jumped out, the language support. It says VOIA understands more than 90 languages.
That's huge.
Isn't it? That makes the potential reach incredibly broad, truly global. It's a big step towards making this kind of support more universally accessible.
Democratizing access, in a way.
Yeah. Now, obviously, if you're sharing these deep feelings, even with an AI, you need to trust it. What about privacy?
Crucial question. The sources are very direct on this. They state, everything you write stays only between you and VOIA.
Okay, that's a strong guarantee. Absolutely necessary, I'd say.
Couldn't agree more. That privacy commitment is fundamental for building user trust, especially today, with data concerns being so high. People need to feel safe to be vulnerable.
Without that confidentiality, the whole personalized aspect probably wouldn't work right. People wouldn't share, honestly.
Exactly. It's the bedrock. That assurance builds the confidence needed to actually engage with the tool openly.
And finally, it seems designed for the long haul, recognizing that well-being isn't static.
Right, our emotional states change constantly.
The message is, every day is different. VOIA is always there for you when you need it for support, inspiration, and a smile. That little emoji at the end is interesting too.
It is. It suggests consistent availability, that steady presence for whatever comes up emotionally.
Okay, so let's try and pull this together. We've dived into VOIA.
Mm-hmm.
It presents itself as this personalized, immediate, and crucially confidential digital companion.
Mm-hmm. Designed for a whole spectrum of mental well-being needs.
Trying to give you those right words right when you need them by combining your input, what you write, how you want the response to feel with its AI capabilities.
That's the core concept.
So the big question then is, what does a tool like this really mean for us? Does it signal a major shift in how we find and get support for our mental and emotional health?
It certainly feels like part of a shift, doesn't it?
How might it, redefine our relationship with our own well-being?
It's a really fascinating development to watch. It pushes us to think about this evolving landscape of self-care, of building resilience. How might these kinds of accessible, personalized, AI-driven tools change how we even understand mental well-being?
Yeah.
And how might they change our relationship with our own emotions, the ways we cope, the ways we seek help in the future? I mean, what really stands out to you listening to this about getting instant, tailored emotional guidance like that? How could that fit or not fit into your own life?
Those are some powerful questions to chew on. Definitely relevant as we navigate, well, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into VOIA. We really hope exploring this gives you some food for thought.
Hope so, too.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep taking care of your well-being.